friends, Hope, Jade, and Patrick here from Mars Jaded Opinion to bring to you our very first Star Wars toy review with some of the new figures we've found from The Last Jedi. This is something we've been wanting to do for a while. Our daily life is very full of Star Wars, and we wanted to give you our opinion, however jaded it may be.
First, let's get the first thing we found. We found the Rathtar. We took it out of the package for simplicity's sake. We just wanted to kind of show you what it was.
Did take a little while to put together. There are a lot of legs.
It was quite annoying, but awesome. It made for an excellent piece, which you will see shortly. So I'm just kind of going over the package for you, so you can see all the sides.
Detailed.
It's got some great art on it. It's amazing. I like it. It's reminiscent of the Force Awakens package, with one weird exception. Nowhere on any of these boxes or packaging does it say anything about The Last Jedi, which is kind of a weird thing. It's kind of I can see a lot of collectors getting discouraged because it's kind of it's almost like a saga collection where they're including everything all in one. This doesn't seem to have its own line attributed to it, which is somewhat odd. Also on the package, which we do not have yet, but all of the new figures and vehicles have this little Force Link emblem on it. And what that does is it's basically a little wrist contraption. You can sort of see it on the back of this package right here. It's a little contraption they wear in the wrist, and each figure has a chip embedded in them somewhere. And when you pick up the figure, a lot of action and lights and sounds and all sorts of cool things happen. So
all the sounds we had to make ourselves as children are now done with the Force Link bracelet.
Correct. Which that's kind of crappy. But anyway, I got really good at making all the noises.
Yeah.
But anyway, so without further ado, the Rathtar. Alright, first up we have the Rathtar, which is excellent. The detail on this figure all over is absolutely amazing. This is, I think, it looks almost like a battle damage spot on an old Jurassic Park action figure. I tried to peel it up and then I realized that's where they're hiding the Force Link chip in this one.
Hidden very poorly.
That is kind of a poor decision. There's the Force Link insignia. You can see all these legs. I think there were, I don't remember, 15 of them total, maybe. I'm not bothering to count right now. But the eyes, everything is amazing. The only thing I didn't like is the fact that they didn't continue the paint job on the top here. It just cuts off. Almost should blend in a little bit, that brown area. They did it on the bottom, but they didn't do it on the top. But this is an excellent piece. It's amazing. You just lay it there, it stands right up. He can grab figures and curl them around inside all of his tentacles all over the place, which is cool. Also, he can easily almost completely eat them. I feel like they could have made his body just a little bit bigger. It would have been a little bit more movie accurate, and maybe swallowed them whole, or almost. The second part of this is Balatik, which again, his face seems a little cartoony.
Haircut of a third grader?
Yep, bowl cut, nice bowl cut there. But I think that's how he appeared in the movie. Other than that, the figure's amazing. The sculpting of the body is highly detailed. The fabric detail is excellent. Everything is perfect. Just that kind of cartoony face. And there you have the Rathtar, 1999. All right, next we're going to talk about Darth Vader and the probe droid, which again, beautiful package. Again, no reference of The Last Jedi, except this art right up here with the main heroes of The Last Jedi. again, the package is excellent. You get some pictures of the Force Link, showing you how that works.
I like the basic white on the packaging.
Yeah, it's minimalistic, but it's really powerful. But anyway, this one also retails at $19.99. Like I said, I believe this and the Rathtar are packed together, 2 per case of each. So you'll want to get these both. This is the best Pro Droid I've seen by far. So let's talk about that guy first. Okay, so next we're on to the Probe Droid and Vader. So, like I said, there's a base to this which has the Imperial insignia. Sorry, that's pretty cool. Just fits in there. There's the Force Link insignia there. Let's see if we can get that to focus a little better. Okay, so overall, this figure is amazing. Like I said, whoop. Well, there's the rocket that fires from it. The head spins around in every which direction. These all turn and move. Even this little itty bitty guy down here moves. Everything is absolutely spot on. It looks pretty accurate to the movie, and I can't wait to hear that cool noise from the Force Link. Which I'm sure will be included as part of the sound there. But again, I said that's the coolest, the absolute coolest probe droid I've seen ever. And on to Vader. Vader is super duper detailed, just like all the other 5-point articulation action figures lately. And I did compare sizes to this lightsaber here. It is relatively short, but it's an interesting new color that's a lot nicer looking.
More red, not translucent.
Yeah, it's not. The lightsabers seem to be not so translucent, but it is, a couple millimeters shorter. It's not that big of a difference, but it does look slightly shorter.
Noticeable. This lightsaber doesn't fit.
So. Again, the detailing on the fabric is just fabulous. They made his helmet here look like it's a separate piece, and I thought maybe I could take it off. I didn't want to force it. Maybe it does come off, maybe mine's just stuck, but I don't think it is. I think that was just part of the detail in making it look as good as it does. Now, I have here, I couldn't find a regular Vader, but I do have the last Black Series Vader that was released. The Black Series figures are awesome. They're basically just vintage collection action figures. They're pretty good, but this one kind of feels a little sloppy. One, he doesn't hold the lightsaber. It doesn't fit in his either of his hands. So I don't even know why they packed it in there. The paint job's a little bit better on this this collar piece here. This is gray, whereas this is actually silver. But overall, the sculpt on this Vader, the 5 points of articulation of Vader, is better than this one. The detailing on his arms, his chest pieces, everything. Yeah, the cod piece down there. Everything is really a little bit more accurate and more chiseled and defined on this 5-point Vader, as opposed to this Black Series Vader.
The gangster chain.
Yeah. And again, the cape is really well done. Even though it's plastic, it makes it look a lot more defined. And they did a really good job of slimming it down and making it fit the character. Inside here, you can see there's a little mold of Vader's back, so it fits perfectly in his back. Right there. That's a really, really well done little thing that they did there. That made a whole lot of sense. Anyway, but when you put the cape on, it doesn't look like a plastic cape. It really doesn't. It's very well done. It's very form-fitting to the action figure itself, and it's highly detailed. Again, not a huge fan of 5 points of articulation, but super impressed with all of these so far, from not just The Last Jedi, but The Force Awakens. It seems that they took a step up from the Force Awakens on these Last Jedi figures, but they are really cool. So, there we go. That is the Probe Droid and Vader pack. Alright, the next item we were lucky enough to purchase is...
This is Pose Resistant Ski Speeder.
This is really cool. First of all, again, we've unpacked it to make it easier on just showing you guys what it's all about, save some time. But the art on the package is incredible. I believe this is a scene from Crate in The Last Jedi. It's got a pack-in of Poe Dameron. Again, we see lots of Force Link stuff going on here. And all the play features on the back. So, this really surprised me. I expected it to be cool. I didn't expect it to be as cool as it was. So, here we go. First of all, it's kind of reminiscent of a B-Wing. This is very cool. So, the first feature it has is obviously collapsing landing gear that comes out and back in. The other feature it has is a handle down here, which simulates the whatever drags on the dust. I think it stabilizes and kicks up dust as it goes along. Acts as a handle, so you can do this, fly around, all kinds of cool stuff. When you come in for a landing, you plop down. This bottom piece just kind of folds into the ground and sits. So it just sits down there perfectly. Another thing that this does, it's in its landing position, is you can expose the engine. Another awesome feature as you're flying it around are the missiles that fire from the center with this trigger down here. That's really cool because you don't even notice that they're there. Normally the missiles are pretty obvious, or Nerf darts, which I'm glad to see they've gotten away from so far. There's one thing I did not like about this, and we'll get to the pack-in a second, but inside the cockpit here, there's a belt, which is really difficult to get your fingers in there and pull out. For an adult, maybe not for a child, which there are probably designed for. However, we're Star Wars nerds. They're going to be mainly adults. That was a little difficult to get out. Also, it was slightly difficult to get Poe in there and get the belt back on if you wanted it on there. That's here. These are the missiles that shoot out. They are very... You can't even tell they're missiles, they just kind of look like part of the engine itself. But they're really well done, because you don't even really know they're there. And this is the little trigger down here, is what activates those to shoot. This is a handle, sort of reminiscent of some of the old Star Wars action figures, or G.I. Joe action, or vehicles that you want to kind of fly around. Really cool. And again, when it comes in for a landing, this little piece drags and just collapses, and it lands very nicely. The detail on this ship is excellent. All that carbon scoring, all of those cool little itty bitty wires running all over the place, especially underneath. They're all really well done. Again, here's the Force Link insignia, letting you know that this does work with the Force Link. Super cool stuff going on here. And you know what? I just realized that I don't know where it is, but I seem to be missing a piece that goes here.
What do you
I'll
mean?
have to check the inside of the box. I may have left it in there, but there's a little gun that's supposed to attach here. But we'll get that and show you what that looks like with it on there. Another cool feature, here's the seatbelt that I was talking about. It's really, really annoying to get in there and yank the seatbelt out. It's hard plastic. I can see it breaking at some point. The slit that you have to fit it in is very small down here. Let's see if I can get it in there. There you go. It's there now. Again, very strange. The cockpit looks very nicely done. They're all... Oh, here it is. Right here. Here's that gun on the end here. Very cool. Must have popped off when I set it on the shelf over there. But I love the way they did these extra little pieces that they just clicked on. This one was pretty easy to assemble. There was nothing much going on. This detail right here is very surprising to me that they went ahead and did this. I don't know if I can zoom in that well. But this little gun right here rotates. That's a detail I would not have expected them to add in there because they really didn't have to. Collapsible landing gear, both sides. And again, the exploding wing pops right off of there. And he crashes and dies, or doesn't. We don't know yet. But that clicks on there, like so. So there we have it. Ski Speeder. Next is Dameron. This is an awesome figure. I like it a lot. They did a lot better job. Again, let's make the comparison to the old Han Solo from The Force Awakens. They're pretty much wearing the exact same outfit. I don't know if they're trying to signify that he's gonna be kind of the new
cool guy.
Yeah, the new rebel, the new
smuggler.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But it is interesting that he looks pretty remarkably close to Han Solo here. But his pilot headset here comes off. His new slightly wild hairstyle is showcased on this figure. Kind of a swoopy little thing he's got going on there.
That's what the kids are doing these days.
And again, his gun comes out of his holster, fits in there very snugly. It's really, they're doing a good job with that stuff.
Yes.
I like that little feature that they've added. A thing I wanted to do here was compare, because they did a little bit better sculpt on his head. Now, these are just the standard action figures, so the paint job is not as great as like Black Series or Vintage Collection action figure, but overall, it's pretty accurate. Much more accurate than, let's say, the original Poe.
They're really bad at Poe.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
From The Force Awakens here, they don't do a good job on his face. This is the 5-point articulation Poe from The Force Awakens.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can kind of compare the two here. And then I did one step further, and let's compare all of them with the Black Series Poe, which had a slightly better sculpt, and obviously the paint job is much better.
3 different people.
But yeah, it is 3 different people. This one, I feel like the paint job on this guy here looks a little bit more realistic. But it doesn't really look like Poe. Overall, I feel like this action figure's head sculpt looks a little bit more like Oscar Isaac or Poe Dameron, as it may be. But again, amazing 5-point of articulation figure here. Definitely buy these for sure. Now on to our final review.
Final purchase that we have found recently.
Yes, indeed. This one went for $49.97, I believe, 99, something like that.
We'll put the right price up.
Yeah. And this is Kylo Ren's TIE silencer, which is really cool. Again, gorgeous package. I don't need to tell you about that anymore. Kylo Ren's obviously the pack down here. We've got the Force Link. The back. All just everything about all of this is gorgeous, except the Last Jedi. Kind of weird. But anyway, I don't either. So, for the silencer itself, I don't have the Force Link yet. Yeah, we apologize. We haven't found the Force Link yet, so until we have that, we can't really show you the lights and sounds effects. This one primarily is the big show stealer because, as I understand it,
we did playset. We will show some pictures in the video somewhere along here or on the Instagram somewhere.
Just keep following us. And I'm not sure how much you can tell here, but on the back, this piece right here, you grab it with the Force Link. From my understanding, it'll light up red here and up here, and maybe some sounds coming from the Force Link as if the engine's starting up and flying. It'll make all kinds of cool TIE-like blaster sounds. Overall, this is awesome. The wings are pretty heavy duty, but they're also pretty flexible, so you can't just like break them. They're good for kids playing with them. The only qualm I have about, well, I've got two issues with this. One, if you look straight on, the guns are kind of cattywampus all over the place. That's because of what they made it out of, which I really like that material, but they do come off, you have to attach them. But if they're wrong to begin with, they stay in whatever shape they're in. There's no way to.
And over time, they could get worse, or wherever they're sitting, they could bend to that.
It is possible. The other weird thing that I did not like about this is, like the ski speeder, this also on the inside, and I'll be able to show you better when I've got some light. There is a tiny elastic band that you cannot unhook, and you're supposed to squeeze Kylo's feet in there and hold them in place. Again, I think that's unnecessary.
Especially with this one over the top.
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary. It's a pretty tight fit. You don't need to do that.
It's accurate. You know, you're in a ship, you need a belt.
Yeah, but it makes it pretty difficult to get them in or out of there, which is kind of weird. The sculpt is awesome. It's gorgeous. The only other thing that I don't like about it is I feel like they dumped down the size a little bit more than they had to. And considering this should be a bigger ship, it should be more in line with Vader's TIE Advance. It's almost like they took a TIE Advanced and a TIE Interceptor, made a baby, and created this thing. Other than that, it's amazing. It's a gorgeous sculpt. I highly recommend buying it. I definitely couldn't pass it up. There are a few cool features here. One, if you're staring straight at it, well, let's maybe look on the side. You hit that button, and the guns on the wings pop out on the side. If you hit it again, they will fire. That is a cool thing. You hit it another time, the second one will fire on the other wing. That's pretty cool.
Like I said before, it's kind of like a TIE Advanced mixed with a TIE Interceptor. The one qualm I said I had about this, the really big one, was the size. This, it's kind of hard to get such a close image here, but this action figure is maybe 2 inches.
Size of it?
Yeah, from the wing, the top of the wing, and this is a much bigger ship than that. Granted, we haven't seen it in action yet, but it feels like a much bigger ship. It feels like it should be a little bit closer to Vader's size. Here's him standing next to the cockpit itself. The cockpit's very small compared to, let's say, the
TIE Striker here. Which has a much more accurate cockpit size. They really made the silencer much smaller, but given that it's a $50 price point, I feel like it should have been a little bit closer to the Striker. Even the wingspan of the Striker is much, much bigger than the silencer, which I don't know how you can tell. Yeah, there's a couple inches on each side. So, also, here's Kylo next to the cockpit. It looks a little bit more realistic. I feel like they could have made the silencer just slightly bigger to be in line with the overall scale. Another thing I wanted to show you was because it's a little bit more fitting, the TIE Fighter, the First Order TIE Fighter, which is right here, sorry. There's never too many toys. Now, as you can see, the cockpit for the First Order TIE Fighter versus Kylo Ren's is, I don't know, it almost looks like it's
There's no vision out of here, even if you...
A little bit more than half the size of this one. While this is an amazing, awesome vehicle, it is just not quite right in terms of scale, and I understand that these are the standard action figures and the scale's not completely accurate anyway, but they could have done a little bit better given the price point. Okay, so this figure is highly detailed. If I can get it to focus on him, there we go. His wraps on his arm are excellent. The sculpting of the fabric, his boots, which are very reminiscent of Anakin, I thought was interesting. They fixed the lightsaber color. It's now this darker blackish bronze color, which is accurate as opposed to this silver color here, which was not, obviously. Overall, he's got this awesome scar on his face that Rey left him with. The only other figure we have of him without his mask is this one from The Force Awakens, which overall sculpt's pretty good, except it's bigger than it should. It seems gigantic, and his face is a little cartoony. This one's very realistic. His boots are much bigger. There's the Force Link insignia on this action figure right here that came with the silencer. I'm not sure why they made this figure so gigantic, but his head, everything about him is much bigger on here. This is much more accurate, I feel, and a better head sculpt. Looks a little bit more like Adam Driver, if you ask me. But there we have it, TIE Silencer.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel here and like this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. We will get back to you. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Mars Jaded Opinion so you don't miss out on any of the new videos and awesome updates that we have coming for you.
Also, be sure to run out on Force Friday and collect all of these, plus the ones we weren't able to get. Force Friday begins at midnight on August 31st or September 1st, however you want to look at it, at 12 a.m. Be sure to stand in line early, check your local retailers for participation, see when they are going to be opening their store. Most of them are at midnight. But anyway, I will stop talking because I'm rambling too much. Thank you very much for watching, and